Greetings, good evening. I am Zawadi, your hostess with the mostest. I say thank you for joining us, myself and the powerful team here at Disruptor Dow. We thank you for joining us on Wellness Wednesday, where we merge technology with financial and mental well being. So let me just say this because we had a little break. You may or may not celebrate what we call Thanksgiving here in the US. Many people do not, given the history. But I hope that you had a great weekend, especially if one of those days was the holiday. So I hope you ate good food, just had a great time with your people, and did something different for the weekend. My ask this evening is that you subscribe, you hit the notification bell, and share with your community. And please comment constructively. We love your comments. So before I bring on our guest, or actually, I'm going to bring our guest on in a moment. Her name is Michanda Lindsey, and she is a powerful yet gentle light dedicated to guiding people on their journey of healing and transformation. As a spiritual teacher and executive coach, she holds space for people to reconnect with their deepest truth and their highest purpose. Michanda collaborates with executives, entrepreneurs, athletes, and artists alike, assisting them in discovering their authentic essence, shedding limiting beliefs, and healing past wounds. She is also the creator behind The Flow, and you'll hear about that a little later, a curriculum designed to teach people how to practice presence in order to live in harmony. She also hosts a weekly podcast, Beautiful Soul, to encourage and fortify listeners on their journey. Now, Mashonda has worn many hats and been many things from journalist, yogi, author to priest and filmmaker. And she invites us tonight to come home to the truth of honoring both who we are and why we are. And so, without further ado, we'll bring Mashonda to the stage.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm hoping you can see me. I think you can. There we go. Yay. Well, I'm so grateful to be a part of Wellness Wednesday. It is an honor to be a guest here. I'm really honored with everything that Disruptor Dow is doing to bridge that wealth gap. And I'm excited to share on the topic of forgiveness tonight. So thank you so much, Zawadi, for having me. Well, I'm going to keep on going until they tell me to stop. Okay, there we go. All right.
And in the run of the show, we did this a number of ways, so I knew you'd be able to handle it. But no, we're
Yes.
going to hear from Mashonda and all that she has to share with us.
Okay, perfect. Well, whether you're listening in the car, whether you're at home on your phone or in front of your laptop, I hope that you're open and you're going to hear me talk about that tonight. So I'm going to share some slides with you. And if you're not able to see the slides, that's okay because it's designed for you anyway. So forgiveness is for the courageous. That is the title of what I want to share with you today. And you're going to hear why I believe forgiveness is for the courageous. And I'm going to already say that if you're listening here tonight, it is not by happenstance. It is not by coincidence. There is a purpose, whether it's for you, first person, or whether it's for you to treasure this, let it marinate in you so that you can help other people in your sphere of influence. So I'm going to ask you, Zawadi, to let me know when you're able to see what I'm seeing so that we can go forward. Okay.
Okay. And you're about
Thank
to put
you.
up your slides.
Yes, I'm going to show the slides.
All right.
Okay. There we go. So there you go. Forgiveness is for the courageous. And that's our date today, December the 3rd. And can you tell that we were already in sync with the green? If you're watching this, you can see our color scheme. We were so in sync here. Forgiveness is for the courageous. Of course, my name, Michanda Lindsey, presence, healing, transformation. Those are the three themes that I really try to embody and that I want to share with those in my circle. So we also have Shayna around in the background. You can't see her. I was able to meet her. Fabulous woman. And she's also going to be able to, help us tonight. And we have someone else, Dr. Marie, fielding questions. So if you have questions for us tonight, Zawadi and I want to make sure that we answer those. Beautiful Soul in the Corner was already mentioned that's the podcast that I host. So as we're getting started here, everybody just take a deep breath. Whew. Because can I tell you, dealing with technology is always an adventure. So if you made it online, we're grateful. We made it online, so we're grateful. And I'm going to ask you now to share with us your name and your location. I want to hear where you are tuning in from and who's tuning in tonight. So go ahead and type that in the comments if you're able to do that. We'd love to hear and see your name and location. And I see I'm going to need to put my glasses on so that I can see that. Okay. Yes, share your name and location. All right. And then I also want you, before we get started, to think about forgiveness in your journey. You may, of course, have had lots of experience with forgiveness. Maybe you're just now beginning to make more space for it. But I want you to type in the chat, in addition to your name and location. I see lots of Harlems. I see Greenwood Village. I see Harlem, Troy, New York. Yay, Jessica. Grateful for the people who are tuning in. Queens, thank you. What has life taught you about forgiveness? What has life taught you about forgiveness? Just put a little phrase in there for us so that we can get an idea of what you've learned already about forgiveness. And I should type in my name. I'm here in Denver, Colorado, Aurora, Colorado, more specifically. Oh, Shayna says self-love. We have Atlanta, Georgia. Nice. Release, someone saying yes. There's a lot we can learn from forgiveness. Keep typing those in because I want to go back and look at them. Yes to more release. The three things I'm going to ask of everyone tonight, of myself, of you, all of us here, is to be gentle. Be gentle with ourselves. We've been taught how to be gentle with everybody else in our world. I want us to practice and go deeper in being gentle with ourselves. Be kind to yourself and be open tonight. Because maybe some things stretch you. Maybe you haven't heard this in a different light. And I want you to just be open because I believe there's something for you when we're open. So why forgiveness is for the courageous? Why? Someone wrote in there, it frees emotions from being hijacked. Yes, a form of release. I see release in there a few times. We're going to dive into that. Before we dive into the release, because you guys are right on there. I see freeze emotions from being hijacked, form of release. Unforgiveness, the opposite of forgiveness, not forgiving, has a cost. And sometimes we're not aware of that cost. Sometimes we think that we can just keep moving on and that baggage of unforgiveness won't affect us. But I'm here to tell you there is a cost. So I want you to ask yourself, close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. And I want you to ask that deep inner heart, that inner soul, that inner knowing, what is unforgiveness costing me? Sometimes we know it. Maybe it's costing us being more open in our relationships. Maybe we're wearing more armor. We're more defensive. Maybe we're not as kind-hearted because we have too much of an edge. Maybe it's creeping in our ability to imagine. There is a cost. Some of you are saying that, yes, forgiveness is not easy, but necessary. Hello, yes, and amen, all of that. No one says it's easy. And yes, it is necessary. I agree. Because the cost of unforgiveness, can I tell you, it also can harm our emotions and energy and our physicality. Because As my good friend, Dr. Deborah, I have to give her a shout out because she also made the connection for me to meet the wonderful women behind Disruptor Dow. She always says and reminds me that everything is energy. Everything. So unforgiveness costs us peace, and that peace can begin to erode on our well-being, and that well-being transcends emotional well-being, it's spiritual well-being, it's mental well-being. It actually is our physical well-being. We can become sick from unforgiveness. So that is another cost. Now let's dive into forgiveness. And I want to talk about the what of forgiveness. What do I mean when I say forgiveness? I'm talking about this picture, if you're able to see, and if you're not, I'm describing it for you, is a picture of the Northern Lights. Now, I am a little bit of a science nerd. And when I think about this amazing multiverse with all of the galaxies, plural, all of the stars, and the amazing light show that planet Earth is able to experience, it fascinates me. And it reminds me that we also are just as fabulous, that we're created with the same atoms that make up the stars, the galaxies, the multiverse, that those also live in us. So when I talk about forgiveness, I'm talking about the alchemy of a new power, the cultivating of a new legacy, and an inner elevation. I'm going to let that sink in for a moment. Alchemy of new power, cultivating a new legacy, and an elevation. Zawadi, I know that you're aware, and we've talked about this, these elements of forgiveness.
So when I think of forgiveness, I really think of forgiveness as giving forth, which I know is the meaning. And often people think they have to forgive someone else, but you
Come
really
on.
have to forgive yourself for whatever the thing is that you've done. And think about it. You've done some stuff in your life. Forgive yourself for those things.
100. 100. We're going to dive into the how and the why, because what Zawadi is saying to us tonight is the seed begins within us. So this alchemy of a new power is you taking all of us, you, the collective we, taking the pain that's caused either by ourselves or by someone else. And the alchemy, our ancestors, at least the ones that I was able to have conversation with, would talk about you're going to turn something that was meant for harm into good. You're going to turn, whether it's lemons into lemonade, alchemy is turning that metal into gold. And so we have an opportunity to take that pain, the bitterness, the resentment, the coldness, the defensiveness into something else, a new power. And we're also able to leave a new legacy because we each have an opportunity, if you are breathing right now, to pass on a legacy that's even stronger and brighter than the one you received. And if you are listening tonight, then I know you are called to rise, to elevate, and there's a promotion hidden for you within the practice, and it is a practice of forgiveness. So let's talk about the how, because you talked about it begins with ourselves. And 100, it's so easy to look at someone else's life, to look at what someone else is doing, and to point fingers. It takes more courage to do what? Look in the mirror, to look within ourselves. And here is the holdup to forgiveness. And here also is the doorway to forgiveness. They both start right here within us. Letting go, releasing. Everybody take a deep breath again. Nice deep breath. Take in that inhale. And then when we exhale, what are we doing? We're letting go.
We are
We're
releasing.
releasing. Yes, come on, Zawadi. We're releasing. And there's plenty for us to release. There's plenty for us to release. Number one, the ego loves to be right. How many of you have an ego? I know I'm not the only one. And I say sometimes my ego loves to be chatty catty. It loves to like talk and think like it knows everything that's going on. And I have to remind it that you only can sit in the back seat. You can't drive the car, ego. When you try to drive the car, we always end up in a ditch. Always, every time. So you can sit in the back seat, but I need you sometimes to be quiet in that back seat, because the ego will ask us to fight to be right. It loves to be right. Hello, pride. Loves to feel like I'm right. I don't want to let go because I'm right. Well, forgiveness, it's a divine feminine energy. It's about releasing that need to be right. Releasing, hello, the next thing the ego loves to keep us captured and tied to is the past. It wants to paint the past as although that's all that's possible. And have you believe that if you forgive, you are going to make yourself susceptible to pain again, because the past will repeat itself. So we hold on believing that that's our strength when actually it's our pain. And it's our poison if we're not careful. So we want to let go of the past. And then the other thing we want to let go of are the past and stale constructs. That construct that says that, you know what, you're going to be a doormat if you forgive, that you're weak if you forgive. I'm going to look at some of the comments. Everyone has an ego. With a body has an ego. Yes, everybody with a body has an ego. 100. Forgiveness is the divine feminine energy. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because forgiveness is a power that doesn't need to dominate. It comes through and it provides a healing and an opening and an expansion, and hello, back to that elevation. And it's the gift that you give yourself. Now, we get so caught up into this narrative that says forgiveness is about telling someone it was okay to hurt me. Forgiveness is not about that. It's about releasing your tie to the old story that has you trapped and repeating cycle after cycle in that loop. Now, Zawadi, are you familiar with the loop? Are you familiar with those narratives, with those grooves in the record?
I am. And I want to say one thing. This is a comment that came before.
Yes.
Forgiveness is not easy, but it's necessary.
Come
And
on, 100.
Yogisha said, it's ongoing, it's not a one and done. So that means we will be doing work for quite some time, unless we can catch ourselves.
Yes. It is a practice. I ask you to breathe, because breath is the beautiful metaphor we all have access to. Every time we breathe, there is a doorway for us to see the mystical meaning and healing that's available for us. It's so simple, we miss it. It's the taking in and welcoming what is for us. Hello, forgiveness. Hello, peace. Hello, healing. Hello, joy and hope. Hello, expansion. And the exhale means letting go of all that no longer serves me. I no longer need that carbon dioxide. I can let it go. I no longer need the story that someone told me. I can let that go. And so it is a practice. It is not easy. It is as necessary as breathing. It is as necessary as breathing. Yes, I'm reading what someone says as well about some things can be forgiven in a one and done. However, some things can be depending on the impact. This is the beauty of this journey. And I'm going to say this because I'm speaking in a realm now that's not about the density of this world. The density of this world likes to look at life through the lens of 1 + 1 = 2. And can I tell you there's more? We have open to us the abundance and the transcendence to go from 1 + 1 could equal 1,000, could equal 1,000,000. We're talking about exponential opportunity that's available to us. And that only can happen when we let go of what's weighing us down. And so we practice with gentleness the same way we breathe, asking ourselves each day, what is for me? And ultimately, we want to come home and understand that, guess what? Everything is for you. That's a lot I just said there. Everything is for you. So I want you to share in the chat what could open for you when you open to forgiveness. What could be open to you when you open to forgiveness? What might you experience? What might you be able to all of a sudden experience and elevate and understand? Peace, yes, inner peace. Hello, hello, hello. Peace cannot be overrated. I'm reading else. What else do we have in here? Oh, yeah, that's the question. What could open to you when you open forgiveness? Be thinking about that because I'm getting to the who and the why now. Your name is courage. That's what I have here if you're reading this. And if you're driving and you can't read it, I'm reading it for you. Your name is courage. I started with forgiveness is for the courageous. And I'm going to go deeper now and say you're not just courageous. Your name is courage. There's a difference. Now, courageous, if we're not careful, can be the sweater we take on and take off. Courage is who you are. You embody it. It's not the sweater you take on and take off. It is who you are. And the who you are is connected to the why you are. And because of that, what opens to us and what forgiveness allows us to remember is that your name is also, and your power is in the vulnerability. Now, this is what the ego does not like. It's so frightened of vulnerability. It wants to protect us. And most of us, thankfully, if we're listening to this right now, are not living in consistent, imminent danger. That's when the ego is helpful. It's helpful when there is an imminent threat or danger. We don't need to listen to the ego all the time because we are not in consistent, imminent danger. And because of that, we can open and be vulnerable. Your power is in vulnerability. That's when you are authentically who you are, is when you are vulnerable. You can't love with your arms crossed. And that means loving yourself first. You can only love when you're vulnerable. Healing happens when we're open. And we want to transcend the old storyline. We want to transcend this thread that keeps us tethered to limitation, to bitterness, to anger, to fear, to guilt, to shame. All of those threads exist, and we can transcend and come home to healing and to our name being courage. And I said a lot right there.
Michanda, would you give
Yes.
an example of when the ego is trying to tell us people are out to hurt you? What does that sound like?
That is the lie. I'm going to go back to that page about the vulnerability. That is the lie. Ego loves to tell you, you can't trust anyone. People are out to hurt you. If someone hurts you once and you forgive them, they're going to hurt you again. You're going to stay the victim. And those are all lies. That's what the ego loves to have you believe, that you are helpless, that you are a victim, when instead your name is power and light. Your name is truth, and you were designed to rise and to shine. One of my favorite poems is Maya Angelou, "And Still I Rise." That is who we are. We have listened too long to a voice of limitation that stems from the ego, but there's a collective ego. There's a collective energy of limitation that is all around us every time we step outside our door that will tell you you are not enough, you don't have enough power, you can't make it, and the ego loves to keep you feeling small and trapped. And instead, we need to remember the truth is you are connected to the all, and the all lives in you.
Thank you.
So I want us to do, if we have a moment, a little imagination exercise. Is that okay?
It's perfect.
Okay. So if you are not driving, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And I want you to settle in. And you can notice this woman on the beach, and maybe you can identify being on the beach yourself. And I want you to just sit with your eyes closed and breathe. And breathe. And simply breathe. As you're breathing, I want you to thank yourself for being here, for being alive, for listening, for tuning in. And I certainly want you to thank this breath of life that you are connected to and that is flowing through you right now. And I want you to imagine that you are sitting along the beach and you can hear the ocean and the waves are moving. And you are sitting still, feeling those waves begin to tickle and trickle up to your toes because you're right at the edge. You can feel the sand. And I want you to stand now along that shoreline so that more of that water begins to cover your toes. That every time the wave comes in, it's covering your toes and then the water goes back. And you're standing and you can feel the sunlight. And now I want you to put your focus on your inner heart. That's your heart space. Maybe you want to put your hand there right now. Because that is not just where your heart beats, but that is where your inner reservoir of truth and guidance and wisdom all resides. And right there is a golden light. And I want you to picture that golden light beginning to expand and fill your whole body. It's filling and growing your heart center with every breath. And it's growing from your heart center all the way up to your neck and your head, moving along your shoulders, your arms, your fingers, all the way through your midsection, your legs, all the way down to your toes. And now it's extending out and beginning to glow this golden light across the whole ocean. The whole ocean is beginning to be filled with this golden light. As far as your eyes can see, and now it's meeting the horizon, and all around you, front and back, side to side, you are filled and surrounded with golden light. and there is no separation. And you are expanding, and now you are moving. You are no longer along the shoreline. You are transcended and moving and filled and carried with this golden light, as golden light that is all around you. And it is expanding and growing where you are connected with the sky, and you are rising beyond the sky. And you are now in the place of where you can see the stars above you, and you can see the warmth of the golden sun, and your golden light and the light that is filled all around you is beginning to fill in the space between you and the sun. That even in space, there is no darkness. There is golden light that is growing, and you are connected to all of it, and it is filling in between you and the sun. There is golden light everywhere. And that golden light is peace and freedom and expansion and love and joy and oneness and abundance and healing. And I want you now to begin to allow yourself to come back into the atmosphere of Earth. Begin to come on back to the sky. Come on back where you begin to see the ocean again. Come all the way back to you're along the shoreline and you're standing there again. And come on back where you begin to feel the water hitting and moving along your toes. And come on back where you can sit down along the edge and know that you are filled with all that you have need of and then some. And when you are ready, you can slowly come back to this space and open your eyes. And that is simply a practice of how we can move through space and time and be sitting in the same spot. And the same way we move through space and time, we can move through the journey of forgiveness, because it is a journey. Now, I want you to begin to ask yourselves as we begin to move through this night, why do you believe you deserve the fruit of forgiveness? I'm not asking this like I don't believe it. I'm asking like I want to hear why you believe you deserve the fruit of forgiveness. I believe you deserve it, but I want to know why you believe you deserve it. Because there's a fruit that's available for you. And I saw Shana wrote down, do I have to come back? No, you don't have to come back. We can carry that same flow with us in any moment, as simply as it was to breathe.
That was my question as well.
Yes. Yeah. Again, that breath is such a powerful gift that we have. Dr. Deborah has also, she's sharing with me here, and she's saying, why does she believe she deserves forgiveness? She says, because I am beautiful and wonderfully made. Yes, and yes. That's why she believes she deserves the fruit of forgiveness. Someone saying that may be the struggle, to believe I deserve it. Again, yes, we are coming home to this truth. It's already in us. The ego, and not just our own personal ego, the ego of this whole collective experience on planet Earth school tells us that we're not worthy, that we're not enough. And we begin to doubt if we deserve the fruit of forgiveness. And even if we don't believe we deserve it, we start telling ourselves, yes, I do. It starts with our words. You know, life and death is in the tongue. So we can begin to speak, yes, I do deserve it. Yes, I am worthy. Yes, I am enough. We begin to say it so that we know. I love Shana wrote, because I am forgiveness, and anything that I am, I deserve. And when I give it to myself, I can give it to others. Yes, that makes me want to dance.
Dr. Marie says, I am the goddess's beloved. That's why I deserve it, the fruit of forgiveness.
100. Yes, that's who we are. It's who we are. It's who we are. Before I'm going to talk about nourish your soul in just a second. I want to say one more thing about forgiveness. Whenever we feel like it's a struggle, something that I often ask myself is, who no longer needs grace in this journey? I know I still need grace. And I also know we're all connected. So if I am holding up my own opportunity because I'm judging, because I'm bitter, because I'm angry, we all have heard that phrase, and this is the truth. Unforgiveness is the same poison that we are putting in a drink, believing it's for someone else when really it's the drink that we are ingesting. We can't afford not to. And I'm here to let you know that whatever fear and doubt and worry that exist around not being able to, those are all lies. Because our nature, our very nature, is one of light and power and love and peace beyond what we have words to describe. And so you deserve all that opens up to you when we let go of all that no longer serves us. And forgiveness is the doorway. So, Zawadi, did you want to say anything else before I jump into Nourish Your Soul, or do you want to say some other things? Because I see some comments coming in. Yes.
I have two questions. And audience, please put your questions in the chat. What does it mean for you to be in service in this way?
You know what? I consider it both an honor and a call, and it is the natural circle that we all go through. And I mean that when I was a hot mess, and I was a hot mess, and my husband will say, well, there's times you still are a hot mess. I'm like, well, there are times I may act like one, but I'm not one. In other words, when I was going through the hardest points in my life, there were people around me who supported me, who poured into me, who saw more in me than I could see in myself. And so just in the same way that life moves through one generation to the next, I believe that it has been given to me an opportunity, because I had such amazing support, because of beautiful divine support, that I want to now do my part to remind people of who they are so they also can come home. So that's how I view it, as a gift and honor and fulfilling this circle that we're all a part of.
Thank you. I felt that. So we can dive right into Nourish Your Soul.
Well, what I want to offer, because this is such a special group here on Wellness Wednesday, is I am offering a Nourish Your Soul experience, which basically is private time with me. And the goals of Nourish Your Soul are three things: it's a time of releasing and healing, a time of receiving and honoring, and a time of trusting and flowing. And so that can happen one on one with me or with a small group of 3 to 5 people. Now, if it's one on one with me, we're going to get together for an hour and a half. And if it's a small group, we'll get together for 3 hours. Now, the price that I'm offering is much lower than what I normally offer. So my one-on-one today is $197, and that's for an hour and a half with me. And if you're in the Colorado area, we could do that live. Otherwise, I talk with people virtually all around. And then if it's a group, small group, then that price, you get a $50 discount. And then it's 3 hours. And I just invite people to take a screenshot of that because the link is very long. It's Michanda Lindsey. I got to even put my own glasses on for that. .myflowdesk/soul-nourish. So please take a screenshot of that. And then as a bonus for today, if you're listening in, one person can get all of this one-on-one for $100 discount for just $97. And to take advantage of this gift, go to my website, michandalindsey.com. On the contact page, simply fill that out and mention Wellness Wednesday and tell me why you want this session. Now, this bonus it says it's for one person. And I tell you, if you're interested, then write the information, because sometimes I end up being more generous and giving it to more than one person. So that's a $100 discount. You can stay connected to me on my podcast, on my website, on Insta and LinkedIn. But most of all, I just ask you all to stay honored and connected to yourself, and to remember that wherever you stand, to be the soul of that place. That's what Rumi asks us to remember, because again, forgiveness is for the courageous, and forgiveness is for those who know that your name is courage. And I see all the information is crawling there along the side on the bottom. So you can find me there. And I just am honored, because I know it's a practice and a journey. And I'm so grateful that people have said yes to open themselves up to talk about what is sometimes a little difficult to talk about. And that is forgiveness, and just knowing that no matter what, the grace is always there and the power is always there, and that we are all designed to flourish and thrive, and forgiveness is part of that experience.
Thank you so much, Michanda. I'm going to see if I can change the layout. Okay, there we
Okay.
go. And forgive me for the interruption just a few minutes ago. I was trying to bring your slides up so that they were front and center,
It's,
especially for the audio.
it's all good. Yes, I'm sure. Yes, it's, if you have any questions, people can reach out on the website that's scrolling down, and I'm happy to share more. It was a lot to take in, and most importantly, we just are grateful that people listened and were joining in, and hopefully you heard something that will help you on your journey.
This is really beautiful. Um, how long have you had a daily meditation practice?
Ooh, that's a great question. It's evolved. You know, I think many people may remember someone in your life teaching you to, like, get down and say your prayers, your intentions before you went to bed as a child. So I remember those days with especially with my grandmother. She really loved to do that. And I don't think I really got into a daily practice. until I became a parent. I believe that's when I really began to make space for that. Having two sons, they're now in their 20s, but when they were young, um, that's when I really knew. And it came alongside the same time I was practicing yoga. At the same time was a nice other way for me to practice connecting body, mind, and spirit. Um, began to be that doorway. So that's my long answer for that. Yeah.
That wasn't long at all. Yeah. So before we send you off, excuse me, before we send you off, and I'm seeing powerful session. Forgiveness creates the inner permission to pause. And yes,
Yes.
that exercise you did was a pause. And sometimes as we go through our day, we don't pause enough.
Yeah. We don't. The mind will tell us that there's no time to pause, that there's too much you need to do, and we can't afford not to. We can't afford not to. It's so important to just close our eyes and breathe, because that's our connection beyond the five senses to the deeper intuition, inner guidance, inner knowing that's within us. And when we tune in with that, that's our inner compass, our inner guidance, all that we need. It is within us. And breath is the gift we all have when we stop listening to the mind telling us we don't have time. So I always say you want to go neck down, because neck up is going to tell you we don't have time. It's a practice. So we want to go neck down and connect to that inner heart, that inner spirit, that inner soul. And whether you're doing it in the shower, whether you do it when you sit down to take care of business, and you know what I mean by that, whether you're washing dishes, whether you're taking a walk, wherever you are, there's room to pause, to breathe. Before you wake up, before you go to bed, pause and breathe, and then begin to extend it. And ask yourself questions. What does my inner heart or soul want me to know in this moment? And you always know when you've tapped in, because the message is always encouraging. It's never berating. It's never destructive. It's always uplifting. It's always encouraging. It's always filled with light. It's never a message of criticism and devouring or tearing down.
I'm very relaxed right now. I see Stacy's comment. I have ritual every single morning. We are worthy. Keep disrupting the default, ladies and gents. I like that. Disrupting the
Yes.
default.
Yes.
So, Michanda, we are going to say goodnight. We thank you again for your visit. We look forward to having you in the future. And I see that your website is going across the screen. In our, what is it called? I'm going to call it the box on the screen that's underneath Michanda and myself. If you're on YouTube now, it's a description box and it has her information. And please make sure to visit her on Instagram. She's got a host of meditations that she's doing and talks. And then she wears such fabulous colors that are calm and meditative as well.
Thank you.
Everybody, good night. We look forward to seeing you again on Disruptor on Wellness Wednesday. See, I don't even know what I'm saying. Okay. So, Mishanda, I'm going to let you go so we can close out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Thank you. Thank you all.
you. So, thank you for enjoying